Hey everybody, this is Chad Daniels, and you have landed in the middle of somewhere. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for coming back. Across from me, as always, is Cyrus Amundsen.
A lot of energy this morning. It's bright and early in a comedy club. Nobody's...
Oh, my goodness.
Don't do it, Justin.
Hey.
Don't do it.
Don't worry about it, everybody. Well, I'm just glad. No, we can leave it in because I'm just glad
Don't.
he changed his ringtone from that racist thing that he had on there.
That is...
Remember that thing? Remember when his ringtone was Hitler's speech? And then he'd like have to answer it. You're like, who the fuck is calling you
That
at this
sounded
hour?
like Jack Black doing Hitler.
And for a guy who's been like really running hard opinions on Palestine and Hamas all weekend, I can't believe that you keep trying to gaslight false racial stories
I
about
hate that
me.
you keep saying that kind of stuff. Listen, the voice you heard that we haven't introduced yet,
I'm sorry,
ladies
Doc.
and gentlemen. No, please.
Don't
this is
ever
fine.
be sorry.
This is a nightmare of a start already. Hey everyone, it's Beth Stelling.
Hey!
Beth Stelling.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm so happy to be here.
We're at the 10,000 Laughs Festival. Mm-hmm. I feel very panel-y now that I said that. Well, we're here at the 10,000
Well,
Laughs
here we
Festival.
are at the 10,000
Hey
Laughs
everybody,
Festival.
yeah, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
But we're gonna normally we like to get to know you a bit and then talk about the thing that you did that we care about. But we're not gonna do that. We had discussed you have a special out that we love a great deal. So we're gonna do that first. We're gonna make you really uncomfortable,
Okay.
and then we're gonna talk all about your life and your family.
But first, tell us about the special. There's something very adorable about it, where it was filmed. and
Something
everything.
that the sort of thing Chad would connect very hard to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I decided to film it in my hometown,
Which is
Dayton, Ohio,
Uh-huh.
Southwest Ohio. And it was like the end of a tour. I've never played that theater because I mostly do clubs. And when they booked me, I was sort of like, okay, I guess I could do that. I don't know. I don't think like that, but it seats a little over 1,100 people. I was like, well,
Holy
let's give
shit.
it a whirl. And then it was Mo who said, like, maybe we should film this. Mo Welch, who's one of my good friends and another comedian. And I thought, I don't know, that's stressing me out. I don't know. I don't want to film that in front of everyone I've ever met
Yeah.
or grown up with. And then it just kind of quickly came together. It was naturally the end of the tour, and I decided to self-produce it. I got in touch with Matt Schuler, who was actually my first manager
Okay.
ever. So he helped assemble a team and brought everybody in, and then we taped it. And
And where did that end up?
it's on Netflix.
It
It
sure
is
is.
on fucking Netflix.
Thank you for the hype.
No, it's
so
so good. And the really cool thing about you doing it in your hometown is that, and I'm not going to give things away, but you talk about like someone that babysat you, and they're actually there.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking good.
Thank you.
I mean, that stuff aside, this is the kind of So there are a couple lines in there that I also don't want to give away, but one's about like men inventing things and stuff like that. And so I texted my daughter who's 19, and I'm like, watch this. This is really funny, but also very important.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, for a young woman to watch this, I
you.
mean, for anyone to watch it, it's so funny.
Thank
I was
you.
dying.
Chad
But-
thinks only women should watch a female comedy.
That's right. Gashes for gashes, everybody.
And for the
Right?
men, dust to dust.
Man, you're not going to learn
Your comments
anything
down.
because you fucking already know everything. So why don't you watch somebody else?
Head on over to Hulu.
No, Amazon Prime. That's where the male comedy lives.
That is where the male comedy lives. That's a
Yeah.
very accurate statement.
Yeah, that is very funny.
It's fucking
Thank
good,
you guys.
though.
That's very sweet. I'm
it's-
glad that did she watch it or like it?
She did,
Okay,
and yeah,
cool.
yeah. And so loved it. And then also you talk about there's some awesome family stuff in there
Thank you.
that I really feel like the listeners of this show, when they watch it, they'll be like, okay, Chad related to that.
Yeah. This is, if you could, because you two have very different life experiences, but also not at all. Exact same life experience.
Sure.
How much do you know about his dad? And we're not going to get into dads.
Yeah,
here.
we don't have to. We
well,
don't have
we
to do that.
can if you want.
We don't have
But
to do
here's
that.
the okay. Can you please? So you and I were texting earlier this year,
Yeah.
and we were talking about dads.
True.
And you told me one of the things. So we come from a dad hustle podcast where Chad's dad. Just give a topic sentence for Beth so she knows what sort of show she's walking into. Give me one. Give me a
This
log
is also going to
line.
be fun for the listeners to sort of just. We're actually stirring up all the dad.
I
Yes.
had a rich, quick scheme father who had to get money for his gambling, drug, and alcohol addiction,
A Ponzi Papa.
and died.
And died.
And he gone.
And then I just like to wrap it up. I like to put a nice little bow on it.
And if I could do my log line,
Oh yeah.
is this so that's the character,
Right.
and here's the show. Once stole Chad's identity when he was a teenager.
Oh yeah, I do. I feel like that was a bit that I know, right?
I'm not sure, but
I don't know, but
I mean, it's probably not a bit. You've probably seen me at other festivals walking around like, fucking stole my identity. Just pacing around the back.
bummed.
Are you working on your set? No, just
No,
going
man.
through some stuff.
Just going through memories in my head.
please God, tell him about the job that your dad had that I found out about and went to the website to search.
I put a little Chiron at the bottom of the special to have
Yep.
people go
I
to his website.
saw
It's
that.
starsoncall.com. He calls it, so everybody refers to it as sign spinning. And he is out there with my special, and he was out there with my last special as well. This is an ongoing thing. But he's
Incredible.
He calls them live roadside commercials or character directionals.
Yeah, he's
And-
a leprechaun.
He's a leprechaun, and he does a fairly offensive portrayal of a Mexican in front of a place called Tijuana Flats.
Sure.
He's been doing that for 18 years. At
When you
this
say
point,
fairly
it's-
offensive, can we get into that?
Can we get a little?
What makes it
Can we
offensive?
get a little deep on
I'm
that
gonna
one?
say it's on them at this point. He paints on a Fu
I was just
Manchu.
gonna ask if
Yeah.
it involved mascara on a lip.
Yeah.
That is how you can offend almost
I
any
think
other.
it's like black grease paint or something. And then
Grease paint
he-
is even more offensive.
I know. He wears a huge sombrero that I'm sure we picked up. Was probably with him when he found it. We would go to thrifting a ton to get all the
That's how you get erasure
products.
costumes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for all the costumes. And me and my sisters kind of we would find old T-shirts in Orlando or something like this. But he would just always be collecting things. We'd go thrifting. We'd go to this place called Ray Circus of Value, and one time he got so excited by a find that he shit his pants, and we had driven. He's like, girls, we gotta go. Here's the thing:
Girls, we
it
gotta
had
go.
actually happened before, and he described it as he had kicked it out the bottom of his leg. It's very upsetting.
Like Shawshank walking around the prison
He
yard.
describes it like this. Like he does
Yeah,
the
he
sound
wily
effects of-
coyoted it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bad at sound effects, but you could probably
No,
do it
you
better.
got it.
Just work on it.
I don't know
you guys
that
work on it and do the shit sliding down your leg and kicking it out
Yeah,
the
Justin-
I
bottom.
think you should grunt when you kick it.
Justin, can we get a sound effect for that? Can you put that in post?
Yeah. Like one of those. Like that's
Yeah.
how you shake it. Yeah. It's it's half karate, half get a horse moving. Yeah.
And starting a little engine. Okay. We had to put newspaper down. He had driven his wife's car
Great.
to there. Normally we would be in his car, and he had so many various cars growing up that we would go down there and visit and be in, from a RAV4 to a Geo to a Yaris to a huge
All the
candy
cars
cane van that we
that
would drive
don't
to the
exist.
beach. And no seats in the back, just us blah, blah, blah.
It's like the cars you can rent from Sixt car rental. Yeah. I got it.
So we were driving the nice car of his wife. She was in marketing at the time, and it had to cover the seat with newspapers. Anyways, I digress.
Well, I don't
No,
because
I'd love to
I talk a lot
digress
about my dad on
that
this
one.
show,
He puts the
and I've
time.
never had to crate train him.
Yeah, I'd like to. If we could spend the first 20 minutes on the candy cane van that doesn't have seats that makes you wibble wobble to the beach, I think we can
loved
mine
that van.
Well, I'm
Yeah, you're-
Slide
I'm
the
sure
door
you
open and
did.
throw everything in. I'm just sitting on the back seat.
Yeah.
Slurpees from 7-Eleven, Big League Chew, Mambas, whatever we wanted.
Sure.
nice.
He was
Give
making
you-
up for a lot of lost time.
Yeah.
Well, he
That's
also-
the kind of van where people hated being in it though because they were bound and gagged.
I was gonna say he's got to give you some candy just in case you fucking die, get shot through a windshield. You want to be like, at least I had a Mamba.
A lot of dads will say they'll be hyperbolic and they'll say like, I found this thing and I shit my pants.
No.
Your dad made it happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I already love
I
about
can
him.
relate because it's like when I was a kid, I do remember whenever I would find like a really good hiding spot in hide and seek or something, like before I climbed in the dryer, I was like, why do I have to shit right now? Like it would be like an immediate, like I found the best spot and now I have to shit.
And that always gives it away. If you shit,
In the dryer especially.
Beth, we found you, but we're not coming to tag you. Shit your pants again. Stop.
I do have a history of using shit as a weapon, but
Oh, no, let's, okay.
Let's
I
unpack.
remember-
Like a monkey?
I feel like one of my earliest jokes is an old joke, but it was like my sisters would never let me play with the cabbage. They had 2 older sisters, and they would never let me play with the Cabbage Patch or the Cabbage Patch crib. It was like a little mini. So I got in it and I took a dump in it, and then so nobody was gonna play with that crib.
If you can't use it, no one can use
Yeah.
In the Animal Kingdom, they call that marking.
Yeah, I was a little animal.
Your marker?
I was a
Little
little
marker?
I was the youngest and a little beast.
Holy shit.
The list of characters, she top-lined it
Oh, yeah.
with the Hispanic burrito joint fella. But the list of characters, I'm going to see if I can...
So that's Tijuana Tex, who you're talking
yeah,
about.
that is Tijuana Tex.
He would put fake rubber bullets crossed, no shirt, huge sombrero, which that's where we took a turn on this story, and like I think it's like leather pants. They're probably like Olivia Newton-John pleather, yeah, and probably cowboy boots or something. He climbs up on a ladder, and he doesn't really spin the sign. He's like kind of standing on the sign, or he'll straddle it. He has been in trouble with the law a couple times.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
that tracks.
And somebody was like, he doesn't even spin the sign. And I was like, interesting point. Because I feel like spinning is a young man's game. And my dad is like, because I'm thinking, why would you spin the sign? Then people can't read
the
it.
sign. Yeah.
I
You
think
can't be spinning a sign on a ladder because
No.
wind catches that.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you.
Take you out
Yeah.
into the intersection.
Also, did any of the trouble with the law happen when he got pulled over in his candy cane van and they found Mamba wrappers in the back?
And we were just like,
No, not even you in there. Just the wrappers. Like, sir, what's with the candy in this van? We've all heard it.
The seatless van.
oh my God. And it had, excuse me. And it had red, carpeting somehow. It felt lush.
Match the
I don't
blood.
remember. I don't know if I was little and felt like a longer pile, but it felt lush.
Yeah.
The back.
Yeah, everything when you're a kid, you're like, that's pretty neat. And
Yeah.
then, like, you revisit that as an adult, and you're like, what the... That
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
That's the worst carpet in the history of the world.
You see lush
That
carpet in the
wasn't
van
good.
and you run your hand, you're like, this feels very, what the fuck is that? There's like for sure something in it.
Yeah, it's a hard crust. You go soft to hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. I've been trying to search on my phone for the link.
Oh.
Give it to me again. Say it out loud because there was
Stars on Call.
starsoncall.com.
And that is not the only thing that you put on the bottom of your
Right. I have a
it's-
few of them.
That's so good. And just
Thank you.
even like the post with the pictures and everything. Oh man.
Thank you.
It's a real good special.
You're going to, thank you very, very much. You're going to like this. You want to see what Tim looks like now?
Well,
Tim
I want to
came
know
to the
when he had his
premiere.
shirt off as and you said it, greasy Mexican.
Oh, my dad. This is
Jad's.
babysitter Tim.
Jads.
He came to the premiere.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's
So,
sweet.
do you want to tell everybody? So, this is the babysitter, right?
Yeah,
we'll
this is
flash this on the screen for people who
This
are
is Tim.
for the 800 people who are watching on YouTube these days. Yes, it is. Yes, we'll put that up.
So you call him babysitter because you don't call him dad.
I know that's Tim, the guy who.
I know, just
Okay.
Just kidding.
I wonder if you thought that was my dad. My dad has watched it, I guess, over at his sister's, but
Does what does
has
she
not.
do for a living? Let's go down that
Well,
road.
she's
Let's
the one in
guess.
the family with Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can I use your password? She's like, no, you can come over here and watch it, but I'm not giving you my fucking password.
I remember one time. So my stepmother did design that website. I think she's
Mm-hmm.
a little more self-aware now, but she like calls herself a web designer. So when you do go to that website, that feels extra.
Well, I'm gonna
fun.
tell you can't
Yeah.
right now. The connection
Maybe
is
it's
not
down.
private. The website
Maybe
is
it's
down, which is a bummer because
Well, why wouldn't you click through anyways?
I wish
Just kidding.
Starsoncall.com.
because there are some on that. Maybe you're getting it up.
Here we
but-
are.
Okay. Yeah.
This is his website.
Let me read.
And look, there's just so it has his cell phone number, but the last 4 digits are missing.
I love someone who makes you guess.
Yeah. But then
Show
on the
me.
next page, it's there. So yeah, this is his pirate character. This is what he promoted Girl Daddy in.
Mhm.
And like this tiny sock's pretty upsetting. There's also
Please go to this right now.
okay, so this is the pirate character. He asked me for advice. Like sometimes he'll want a riff, and I'll be like, okay. Like, and he said, "What do you think for a name?" I said, "How about Arj?" I felt pretty clever.
Yeah, Arj.
You know,
Yeah.
Arj. And he was like, if you look on the website, it's Glitter the pirate. That's what he went with.
So, I mean, in today's day and age, Glitter the Pirate might get some.
Did you go to a strip club and just wait for the stripper that got the biggest amount of applause?
I'm
I'm stealing that one.
Part of me is wondering because I'm like, is the number not there for a reason? Because he keeps on getting calls.
Yeah.
I feel like, so they did get a call from a fan of mine who offered to rebuild the website, like a good website,
Really?
which did offend his wife who built the website.
I'm sure.
That's very different than Steve.
Yeah.
That's very different than Steve. Steve is taking that free help.
But here's the thing. I think she's now received the critiques and been like, that's the worst one I've ever built. You know, because that's what happened on the last.
She's got a
He
narrative
FaceTimes
now.
me a lot, and I sometimes pick up. And I did pick up the other day because I hadn't talked to him since it came out, and I was like, I don't know, does he need to like talk about anything that I said or whatever? Because he's very much of the if it happened, say it. Like it's your life.
Well, that's
yeah.
At least there's that.
I mean, I think you
that's
have
a
to be
big-
like that when you've done wrong.
I think so too. And
Yeah.
this is very, in my opinion, typical behavior of a child of a parent that fucked up. Where you're like, go ahead and call me. We can talk this out. I'll fix it because I'm the adult here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, he'll say that he loved like I don't know if you had like a button for him, one of them would be like role reversal. He like loves to say that.
The button bar.
Yeah. If my dad had a button bar, it would be like role reversal and never give up. He loves never give up, role reversal, and keep following that party road. That's another one.
I was going to
That
say,
seems like bad advice.
Yeah.
That one feels
Chef
bad.
Big Butt is a classic.
Chef Big Butt is a really
Yeah.
good one.
oh, I love it.
Carmen Miranda Gorilla. Some stuff he
No,
says.
don't just run over that one. 'Cause that's
I'll never
that's the
understand
most
that.
interesting one. Carmen Miranda Gorilla.
I know.
It's not.
I don't get it.
It's not even Carmen San Diego. I don't. That's
Fat lady with a PHAT.
Yep.
I'm upset.
I love that one.
Pierre, the Frenchman. Pizza Man used to like wake us up in the morning. Can you imagine? Like, it's like a man in an all red morph suit. He would paint. This one had a hole, and he would paint his face red and then
Yeah.
put on the slice. But when you get home, you're taking the slice right off. You're hanging it up in the garage. So we would just get woken up by red face. Red face
Wait a sec.
with no slice.
What time is this?
This is
You're
he
getting
would be
woken up
going
in the
out in the morning.
Who the
We'd
fuck gets pizza it's 6 a.m. in the morning?
No, we would sleep. We would be
Oh.
staying up so late.
Oh, gotcha.
And we would
Okay.
sleep till noon,
Yeah.
1. He'd come back.
Once the buffet starts, he's got the people in
Yeah.
for the buffet.
I'm
Yeah.
part of me's going like, maybe, yeah. This is a good question. I'm like, I feel like he would go out at lunch because basically what we wanted from him was to come back by noon or 1 to go to Daytona Beach so we could have the afternoon with him.
Gotcha.
So I'm kind of like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, who would
No,
be doing
yeah, and I
pizza
don't.
in
I
the
don't think
morning?
we
Getting
should go
people in
too
for
deep
lunch.
on solving the mystery of. He's like, no, I was
But
selling pizza.
That's the thing. He would be out and then like promise us he'd get back in time to take
Yes.
us to the beach.
Okay.
In the van. But I'm like, he also did he does Anytime Fitness now. Excellent Tint is another. These are just free ads for these companies in Orlando.
Yeah, no, let's do it. Let's talk about Pierre the Frenchman.
Yeah. And
Pierre.
Jimmy D Money.
The Frenchman. What was that one?
Jimmy D Money.
Jimmy D Money.
That one has a photo, I believe.
Yeah.
I love that
These-
you have a built-in win against this guy. Anytime he's like, "Listen, I did this for you, and I'm the adult," and you're like, "Oh, are you?"
Oh my God. There used to be there is a pig on here, and I don't know if it's going to load, or maybe he changed it since I've been making fun of it. But this full pig, if you see the full pig outfit, which again, it's one of the more upsetting photos.
It looks like
He's like that,
it looks like a horror movie just called The Pig.
and he.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm wondering if he changed it because of the things I've said, but you used to be able to see the whole thing, and when you got down to his feet, he was just wearing piggy slippers, which doesn't make any sense at
It's
all.
like a pig with baby pigs on
Yes,
his feet.
it's like it should be hooves.
It's like he killed his children to make shoes. Well,
Yeah,
the van makes more sense.
that does make more sense. So yeah,
I
That-
think there's something great, the negative effects of childhood aside, to have. So you guys have both. You in the past.
yeah,
You've dated other performers,
yeah.
and I always think the scary thing about that. Now you guys have dated talented performers,
Sure.
which is
some.
a smart choice.
I've only dated
Yeah.
and it's current, so I'm.
I'm going a
That's
good
good
road
for you.
here.
Congrats.
Oh yeah,
We're all
thanks.
very happy.
Well, no, I'm happy about yours, but it's also good that it's just the one that's best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one's a nice number.
Yeah.
I didn't need to.
I've dated comics just because I refuse to be happy. But other than that,
But there's that when you date a comic, but you guys have both dated talented comics. At least you can go. You never have to be like great act.
yeah.
You can always because Kelsey's incredibly funny. The
Bleep
humans
is also very funny.
and so, but that's kind of like. I have a dad who loves, who really, really likes karaoke, and like
Those are dangerous dads.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. You have to be like, Dad, good job with the pig. Like, where you have to be like, no, I do think the talent is there, and I have enjoyed today's performance.
Yeah, I mean, I used like early days. He would pay us really well,
Yeah.
like just to go out with him. I remember because he had a Civic at the time. This is the memory I have of it. And he would get paid pretty well. He started at that company a really long time ago and started at $35 an hour, which at the time I was like, who's paying that?
Yeah.
But Far Out on Fox did a little feature on him and it was like, when he's out there, it's 60% more likely. Something like they did stats somehow.
Gave a number.
60% more likely, or whatever it is. I don't know. And then afterwards, there is a woman on the news panel that's like, I don't know, he's weird, And the funny thing is that like made me mad. You know what I mean? I was like,
course.
no, I can fucking say that.
I
But
hate
you
the
can't.
pig. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember getting defensive, but like I just grew up getting like a lot of stares. There was like that attention that I did love because he dresses insane as well. Like his perfect outfit just for a regular day would be what he calls clam diggers, which are really just capris, and he loves capris.
Don't say that if you have a cold. That's not going to end well for anybody. Make sure you blow your nose before you say that. You do not want any congestion before you say that.
He loves a practice jersey. Like I think he finds those at the thrift store. I think he likes to have a little breathability on his nips
So just to be
and a
just
wallet
so-
around his neck.
So
A chain
I
wallet
wanted
around
to
his
unpack
neck.
practice jersey, but then you threw wallet around his
I'm
neck.
not done. There's also over the top Oakleys that he wears, which are meant for snowboarding. He wears them in Orlando. He tells all women that we go to whatever we're out to eat. He tells the waitress that they're X-ray, but just for women. And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
I can never come.
And
I have
these
to
are my
apologize.
daughters.
Yeah, it's unreal. I mean, like this. I have so much to tell you.
But hold on. Just so everybody at home understands, you said practice jersey.
Yeah.
You know what
But this
that
is
means.
regular wear.
You know what that means because we're going to talk about something else you're very good at later. But like, to anybody at home, what she means is back in the aught 90s, the jerseys were like circular fishnet, so you could
Yeah.
see the nipples
Mesh.
and the stomach. It's a mesh.
Yeah, full mesh, but then it was full material just
Couple
on the
patches.
shoulders.
Yeah.
And you're like, just for the number.
And those
of my
block them from the
practice
sun.
jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like this is the less nice regular jersey. It's a jersey with holes in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's full on.
Okay,
It's full mesh.
back to where we're going with the rest of the outfit.
Yes, and over the top Oakley sunglasses.
That were X-ray vision just for
just for women.
for
Yeah, I'm
women
just sort of
who-
like, what am I supposed to say to that? And he also whenever we're out, he'll call the waitress mom. It's always like a fake bit. You know, comics who like stumble on a word and then include it in the act. And they're like, why would I say that? And then you see him do it like 4 times later on the road. Anyway.
You know what? That's something else I noticed in your special where you said something and then you go, don't tell me what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, I don't want the information.
Yeah, don't tell me.
I loved it.
In
so much.
second grade, I don't even know how old a second grader is. Nobody tell me.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right.
I don't. Everybody always feels the need to fill you in on stuff. I'm just like, I don't need to know that.
Well, and it's also great because if somebody goes, well, if she would have said this before, someone would have yelled out the age. It's like, well, not if she said, don't tell me.
Yeah,
I just thought
I
thought it was awesome.
Thank you. One time I avoided going there for a long time. I've actually never performed in Florida.
Okay.
I got really close. Oh, that's not true. I did UCF one time, but I told my dad the show was canceled. And so he wouldn't show up. My cousin did still somehow find out and come. But I promised I would visit him the next day. Like, I'm not a monster.
Sure.
So I stopped by. He's dressed as a full pumpkin. He's kind of asking me if he should do green wig or orange wig. And I was like, I'm thinking if you have something brown for the stump. But that was just my input. And of course, he didn't listen. He went orange. He's like, if you could give me a ride down to the realtor, that's where I'm going to be doing this in front of. So I give him a ride. We walk into the desk and and he's like, this is my daughter. Like, he has business cards of me that he hands out, which is kind of a bad look for me. It's like, I remember one time when his wife was like, and she does drink quite a bit, or I should say, allegedly. And she was like, I have connections to Steven Spielberg. And I'm like, I don't want Steven to know that I know you. Okay? I don't care. So we walk and he's like, this is my daughter. And I was like, oh, God. And then he goes, my name's Jack. You want to guess my last name? And I'm like, fuck. And the lady was
Does
like,
it sound Irish?
the lady goes, oh, Lantern? And he's like, Mehoff. I was like, oh my fucking God. I have to leave. I'll be in the car, and I'm so sorry about him. I'm actually not claiming him as my
Although
dad.
that is a great bit, for sure his wife drinks because when you come home and he's like, what do you think, green or orange? She's like, I'll be in the bar.
You know the moment where I talk about him in the orange suit, like almost waterboarding himself? It's because she has to zip it up. Like, his fingers are covered. She's in charge of zipping the morph suit. So she's on board.
Oh, it's so amazing.
She's fully on board with
Also,
this.
does your dad, I would like to take a step back about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Do you think he knows that X-ray sunglasses go all the way through the skin to the bones? It doesn't just go through clothes and stop at the nips. You know what I mean? It's such a weird thing to say. It's like, well, then, how do I look? Is everything healing correctly?
See, this is the perfect joke that I could have written.
Yep. No.
I mean, I couldn't have written. You wrote it. It's very funny.
I didn't write it. Cut it out. It's yours. Take it out of it. Chop it out. It's yours.
What do I need to Venmo you? 500 or
No, 0. Trust me. If I wrote it, it's gonna eat shit. Trust me.
I don't even know. I could go on forever because there's a more recent event.
Yeah,
But
let's do that. Let's go on forever.
I have to show you the photo.
Okay.
I was traveling with my field hockey team over in Europe, and he was FaceTiming a bunch, and I was like, fuck, is somebody dead? So I picked up. Turns out he's just getting pulled over by the cops. He's shirtless, and he has his wiener dog on his lap. And he's like...
By the way, that's a waitress nightmare as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's a costume.
You want to pet my wiener?
Oh, my God. Of course there's those jokes, too. I'm like, I just got to find this. Maybe it's a screenshot. Sorry for everything. But
Weird to double up on. I have X-ray vision glasses and call the person mom.
I know.
That's a tough.
point.
That's a revealing.
Pretty weird Oedipus Rex.
And this is another time when I say to the waitress, like, I'm sorry. He's terrible. He's like, role reversal. Like, that's when he does it.
So it's not like when he's actually giving you a compliment. It's when he's doing bits in front of waitresses. He's sexually. I think that makes it better.
He's
I like the button bar more.
He's like, she laughed. I'm like, I laugh when I'm getting sexually harassed as well. Like, that's not too uncommon.
Yeah.
No, is it a real belly laugh or a terrifying?
Did she look like she was sidling away?
Yeah.
Okay, this is taking forever. Sorry for everything.
No.
You know how some comedians will, when they're riffing on something, they'll say the F word or they'll say like a whole bunch just to like, cause a comma.
I'm aware of how
I feel like
perform.
that laugh from the waitress is just planning an escape. Like, okay, where are the doors?
Yes, looking for an exit. All right, we're getting close because it happened when we were over here. Okay. Oh, here we are. And here's the glasses, just to sort of give you an idea of that.
Here's the thing: if you haven't
I
started,
didn't know what over the top Oakleys were. I didn't know.
Yeah, this is what they are. And by the way, you can actually just get separate lenses, but he didn't know that. And he has 7 pairs. He wanted all different colors of the lenses.
He looks like a wrestler that always loses.
he looks like a blind guy from the future. That's what he looks like.
Okay, so we're talking. He's calling me. He's letting me know that he just went to the post office like he always does on a Friday.
Can I tell you, you do the exact thing that somebody should do in a situation like this with a parent like this? Because I'm watching her on the table right now flip through what has to be a screenshot per second of the FaceTime
I was
call.
like, I'm getting this.
Yeah.
This is my face here, which is pretty funny. This is when the cop showed up. Okay, so so the cop pulls over. My dad tries to immediately go. He goes, "I'm talking to the girl daddy," which is just the name of my last special. He's never called me that.
Yeah.
He's
Cop's like, oh, Beth?
He tries to hand the cop my business card, and the guy's like, "I'm good." He's like, "I'm talking to the girl daddy," and I'm on FaceTime going, "Just tell him you're talking to your daughter and put me down. Like, explain what you're doing. That you were just on your phone because you decided to FaceTime me." Anyway, I thought he's getting pulled over for FaceTiming me while driving, but apparently he goes, he's talking about, so the cop's like, he's gonna get a restraining order, and I'm like, fuck, what's happening? Like, I know of a couple neighborhood issues, but I was like, now here's what he says. He goes, he's gonna get a restraining order if you don't stop telling him to smile. My dad won't stop telling one of these neighbors to smile. He keeps, that's what this guy wants. And I kind of love it that he's doing it to men, but I'm just sort of like, he won't stop telling this neighbor to smile who lives over on Shady Acres or something, which is not even, here's why he's over there. Someone made the huge error of having my dad be in charge of the beautification award, which he puts in your yard in the middle of the night. It's a monthly award. So he's driving around. He has some, few mental issues going on here, and one of them being OCD leaning. He's driving around the neighborhood doing his job, which he's absolutely not paid for, searching the lawns. So he's going by this guy's house a lot, and whenever he's going by, the guy is scowling, and he's telling him to smile.
Amazing.
And this cop is saying he's going to give you a restraining order if you don't stop telling him to smile.
And this is all happening in Florida.
Yeah.
That is so much better than every character on that entire fucking website.
I know.
That's Batman villain level behavior to drive by to just not even your next door neighbor. You're talking a loop.
Oh, a loop. Yeah.
And just being like smile and then keeping going. Oh
yeah,
my
he
God.
He likes to go, keep smiling, keep following that party road. That's another one. I was beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, keep
You know
following that
why
party
your dad
road.
wasn't pulled over? It was for mistaken identity. Because no one looks like your dad
I know.
with those goddamn goggles on.
I know. And that wiener dog on his lap.
That's so good.
He calls him Joey from Macoy. That's where they picked him up.
That's not bad though.
Joey from Macoy.
That's probably the best thing he's done. Joey from Macoy. That's really good. I like that a lot.
But it's
Let's
only
get that on your fucking button bar.
Joey from, and I think I do. I probably have a picture of us. Like, well, here's this. This is the U.S. Masters.
Yeah, let's do.
Yeah,
let's
I would
do
like to
that.
talk about
let's
that.
do that.
This is my-
and we can absolutely.
announcement.
Yeah, we can absolutely button hook back on dads.
Yeah, because I do have a photo of him as the pumpkin, but it's less exciting.
And if there were ever a time to decide to finally trust, so we tell our audience like we're gonna do a thing, and then we
Don't ever do
we
it.
never do the thing, and
Because we have good ideas, just no.
we don't ever do it.
No gumption.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Maybe
I don't
less
know how
follow
much
through.
you know about ideas. I'm keeping
yeah,
this for a
okay.
second. I don't know how much you know about ideas, but there's a lot that goes into finishing them.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was some odd years ago that we're like, we're doing video every week. And we told everybody that. And when did we start it?
I'm going to say 4 weeks ago.
But we have done it every week. And we believe that's going to happen until our divorce, right?
Right, yeah.
We're going to go until our divorce. So if there was ever an episode that you were like, I'm also going to do the video this week.
You should, because we're going to put pictures up.
This is the one.
Hopefully.
Okay,
You
yeah.
should.
Of course.
Justin is
I'll
gonna.
send
We're
them.
not gonna put white. We're not gonna not put fucking white Morpheus
You
up
have
on the
to.
screen.
Yeah.
You have to see these.
It's unbelievable.
Also, I think people don't believe. Like, I get why a lot of people watch stand-up comedy and they think
oh,
you're
that's
making
exaggerated.
it up. Yeah. I mean, the truth is, like, there is skill, of course, in making something funny. Like,
Right.
you fix that X-ray joke that I would never. I think it was too dangerous for me to touch. But it's like one of those things where I'm like, it does happen. It's just it is on me to probably make it funnier and make it a joke. But those things are real, which you'll if you watch the special, I give you exactly what we're talking about, so you can be like, oh, that was real.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. So you
Yeah.
played field hockey for a long time.
Started in 3rd grade.
If you follow young Beth on, see, I do it with all sorts of women, Chad. Call back to last week. If you follow young Beth on Instagram, you can find you can.
You know what? This is his version of mom.
That is not fair. That is. Don't make it about me. You get some pictures of you playing field hockey. You're in
Yes.
the Santa Monica club team.
Yeah. Mhm.
And what Chad and I learned last night. I learned last night. You learned this morning.
Yes.
Is that you were? I'm gonna just let you say it. Why do I want it? So I'm so competitive, and this is such a feat that I want to make it mine.
He's melting down. Look
I'm
at him.
having a hard time.
Look at him.
Beth, announce it.
Okay, I personally I mean,
Nope,
I
you're
am
gonna fuck. No,
excited, but it's not
fuck.
that
Shut
big of a
up.
deal.
Shut up.
I
Beth?
tried out and I made the U.S. Women's Masters field hockey team.
Hell yeah.
The 35 team. Thank
For
you.
to represent the country.
That's right, in
and we're going-
Argentina.
Argentina.
So this December we will play in the Pan Am Games for America, and because it is a women's sport, please look in my Instagram stories. We will be crowdfunding.
Do you think going down to Argentina
Your
to play in
dad's
this?
just spinning a sign with a field hockey stick. He's Darla, the field hockey coach. He's like, Dad, I don't love this character at all.
He would be like Rick the Stick or something.
Yeah.
There's no. That's too good.
Never get to
It-
Darla, the coach. Yeah, he would be Rick the stick.
It would
That's
be
right.
like Robert the Stick. I mean, there should be something wrong with the name that
your
doesn't make any
stepmom's
sense.
at home zipping this costume that has a net over his face.
Oh, brown morph suit.
That's amazing though. As someone who has
you.
gotten in his fair share of near fist fights and pickup basketball games in my life, the dream is to play on an international level. That is so
Absolutely.
fucking incredible.
Congratulations. That's real
you.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So you tried out in Arizona.
Yeah, I've been playing with that club team for the last several years. Like I played from 3rd grade on, all through high school, and then off in college I just did club for a little bit. But I was a theater major, so I was busy eating, and I was like, I'm not gonna be playing as much. And I got out of shape. I didn't play for years, and then after I got out of a particularly unsavory, why would I use that word? A bad relationship.
Let's
With
go with
beep.
unsavory.
With beep. I was like, what can I do to sort of reconnect with my younger self, to like get back into my body, to feel who I felt like I was before something bad happened to me. So I picked up cello again, which I hadn't been playing again for a long time.
Yep.
So I'm still like a novice at that, but I sometimes pick it up for fun.
Sure.
And then I also went on Facebook and I was like, field hockey teams near me. And I found the Santa Monica Field Hockey Club, and I went out to the open mic.
She went to the field hockey open mic.
I had a stick, and I was like, "Hey, how's everybody doing? Are you guys dating?" And they're like, "Okay." So I showed up, I played for the first time in forever, and at the time there was this guy Simon there who was running things, and he was just extremely encouraging. Like, he was just a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "You're great. You should come back." And like, that's all I really needed.
Mhm.
I feel like that's all I ever needed with comedy too. Was somebody be like, "Hey, you're pretty good. You want to do my show next week?" And you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
So
Just a little bit of kindness somehow
Yes.
makes you feel like a person.
yeah,
that's how it works.
it's wild. So at the time too, like, I brought my stick from high school, which was wooden, And I played on grass in high school, so people are looking at me like a relic. They're like, "Can I see that stick?" Like looking at my stick. This is crazy because now they're all made out of composite or Kevlar and all these things. But anyway, I have updated my stick game, and I don't play with the wooden one anymore. It's so heavy. Like I think about it now, and it's like just like so flat and heavy. I was like basically playing with a club, but. And then the last 7 years, I've just sort of like got more and more into it. And then I would say after this special, which was kind of like an intense time, like I said, I felt like building up to it. I was touring, like it was like a 26 city tour, and I was writing on Rick and Morty season 8, and it was like not those things are like things I've worked really hard to be able to do, and so I'm proud of myself. But like doing those two things at once is a lot, and I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes I feel like I'm doing both jobs not as well as I could. So, and then I decided to fucking film a special in my hometown in front of people that I know, and a huge theater, which I'm normally comfortable in a small space.
If you could grow beautiful curly hair, it's fucking same. This is the same shit. I think this is how Middle of Somewhere ends. I think I slowly fade into the background, and you two look at each other like that Spider-Man meme for the next 50 episodes.
And so I guess all that to say, after that special was done, and I felt sort of like that was a lot. I was like, and I broke up with the person I was with. That was particularly, again, I might not have the best picker, but
unsavory.
I'm getting better. Yeah, different unsavory, a different type of unsavory. And I was like, this year, meaning 2023, I was like, I'm going to travel. I'm going to see friends. I'm going to play field hockey. So I really just did that to sort after all that ended.
So do you have friends in Argentina?
No.
Because if you did, that would be all of those.
The trifecta.
You just need friends to be in Argentina, and you're like, oh, wow, one trip. Fucking nailed it.
Send Mo down there. Have her get there before you. You could really knock all 3 out.
Sarah Silverman and Chelsea, when I told them, were like, we'll come. I was like, so we are going to need you guys to fund the team, by the way. But other than that, I think people are excited by it. I am curious who will actually come. I've had a couple friends threaten that they're going to show up in Buenos Aires. I was like, I'm sure that you will be one of 2 people in the crowd, and I've ordered extra jerseys with my name on the back. So if you do want to come,
here's the thing.
You're welcome to.
When is it?
December 4th through the 15th.
Oh, God, that's gonna be so fun. I bet I've always assumed too, because it won't be. It is the Pan Am Games. Mm-hmm. So it's not just gonna be women's field hockey.
Yeah, and there'll be men's teams too.
And I am very intrigued by the base camp in international events. That seems like a neat place. All the hot athletes, all just in a collective there. Like, what should we do when we're not playing sports? Walking around with their amazing thighs and shit.
You just hear people going, "Well, good thing the next Olympics is going to be in 18 years, because we got ourselves a winner."
Yeah, I also think too. The reason I downplay it is because it's not I'm not on the U.S. Just to not be confused, I'm not on the U.S. women's field hockey team. That's 19-year-olds who rip it at Duke. Yeah. They would annihilate me. Yeah. This is Masters, which is 35 and up.
Yeah, we're not big. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
we're not big play it down guys.
No,
we're big play it up guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get better at
when
that.
it comes to others.
Yeah, okay.
I'll play it up.
When it comes to us.
Yeah.
We do the thing you do, but worse. Yeah. We do it way meaner and way worse. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but I'm dying.
I don't want that. Please stop.
But walk off the show.
So but that is no matter what, there's no version of international sport competition that you're like, it's only this.
Yeah, there's no. You've been asked to play sports and you need a passport. That's it means you're pretty good.
Yeah, we'll take that.
I gotta find you this.
One time I had to use my passport to play sports, but it's because I forgot my ID at
You have seen that though, right? He's out there with a plunger on his head. With my special. This is the latest one.
This is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that one.
There's this one. He's out there with a plunger.
Yeah.
On his head.
I fucking hate that.
You guys saw this, right?
We'll put that in the video too. It's her father.
That's unbelievable.
For our audio listeners, you remember Green Man from Always Sunny? It's that, but orange and Bermuda shorts with a plunger on his head.
This guy's character is called Shithead.
Oh, what a terror.
That is That's a difficult ordeal. Now let's flip, because
Okay.
here's the other thing we do on this show, because we're about we're at a nice point
Yeah.
to.
I have to pause you.
Okay.
Let's play a game first.
Okay.
Let's put that picture up, and then let's have people that haven't heard this episode yet say, did this person contribute in making an international athlete?
I
Yes
love
or no?
that. I love that. I also fun other game. Let's have Beth back on, and I will prepare this for next time. Let's play Chad's dad, Beth's dad, where I
fun.
take
Not a competition.
Where I I take a non-revealed fact, and the audience has to try to
gotcha.
figure out
Sure.
If it's your dad or
whose
my
dad
dad.
did
Is
this. Ladies and gentlemen, the next clue: he died in a methadone clinic somewhere in Denver. Whose dad is it? That's an easy starter for our audience. Although I do think he's alive, and at some point we will launch our true crime documentary and find his whereabouts.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
excited.
I have this is. Here it is. This is all I wanted to show you. This is the Jack Mehoff moment.
You know what? I love that you're smiling.
This
Because-
is before we went to the realtor.
Yeah, that's a lot. He also has his hands up like he's about to do the honka honka motion, which is tough to see.
This is I did UCF the night before with Alex Moffat and Mikey Day. It was fun.
Nice.
And then
And he
you
did not
did the
come.
next.
And then
you
I
did
went
a
to-
realtor's office the next day with Jack Mehoff.
Yes.
It's great. Now here's.
I got to tell you, I love the joke.
I do too.
I love it's like, of course you're going to go with, oh, lantern. I mean, I fell for it. I was like, let me guess. Does it sound Irish?
And he's like,
Thought I nailed it. It's
Mehoff.
Mehoff.
So here's the flip side of the dad, and this is another thing that our program is very familiar with. You have a plus leader of the pack home run mom.
Yeah, I do. She is great.
Who had a lapse in judgment
You know what?
3
It's-
times.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I asked her what she liked about him because they met at Wittenberg in college and the choir.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, he talked a lot. Which
She
would
raised
later
on a
be
fucking
diagnosed
farm?
as manic depression. I'm like, okay. She just liked that he talked a lot, was
good.
talkative.
That sounds like somebody who was
That's a
raised
different generation.
long way
Yeah.
from town.
Yeah, that's a different generation.
This is not fun to listen to, but this is me in that curly wig that I was telling you about in the special.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister dressed as in Dick Tracy. This is another one I got to send you guys because it's
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
yeah. I'll send it later. There's a couple other costumes we put on that I shouldn't show ever.
Do you ever worry that if you start like that costuming is in your blood? Like now as an adult, like if one day you went to a costume party, you might like it a little fucking too much. It's kind of like you get
Yeah.
a sip of whiskey, you're like, this is a problem in my family, and I'm gonna fucking step away from it.
For me, I think it's more like in the realm of like you don't ever touch a cigarette because you were in a car with smoke for too long.
I
You
hear
know,
that.
like your parent is smoking, blowing into the
so
back
it's the
seat.
opposite.
Like
Yeah.
I would never smoke again. I mean, that didn't happen to me. I love cigarettes, but I wish they weren't bad for us. They are so delicious, but I think that it was more like I am not that into Halloween. I'm
Yeah.
not as into it as at all.
Well, yeah, you walk around, you're like, oh, everyone's my fucking dad.
Yeah, you're like a Vietnam vet on 4th of July.
I'm the only person
Yeah.
that can't fuck
Yeah.
on Halloween.
Yeah.
You have to take the costume off and wash all the makeup off, and then we can talk about it.
If you think you're
In the
getting
shower.
inside me with that red fucking face, you got another thing coming. And it's not you.
Ah, shit. Anyway, yes, my mom is great. She's very sweet. We could pivot to mom.
I mean, I could stay on dad. I just want to give you the opportunity.
She
that
doesn't love that there's like a lot of dad material, I would say.
I would assume not. It's like I got arrested for stealing a cap gun in the 10th grade. And if that was talked about a lot by a kid I had, I'd be like, hey man, maybe should you shift to another topic for a little bit? Can you talk about like one of your teachers or something? What's up with so much of this arrested for cap gun stealing material? That was my least bright moment.
Exactly. Yeah, my mom's now retired, and she teaches piano lessons out of her home. And
She does.
she's just a sweet lady. Speaking of X-rays, she had a bit of a health scare, and it could have been terrible. Could have like her intestines could have exploded. And my brother-in-law is an ER doctor, and basically it was like, we have to get you in for a CT. Took her in surgery the next day. It was like really serious. And she sent John, my brother-in-law, sent me the X-ray because I was just curious, and he knows how to read it. Was showing me, and it looks exactly like Mo's Chihuahua, her pelvis. It's unbelievable. And my mom was so upset that I sent it to friends. And I'm like, it's not you naked. It's your insides. It just happens to look like a Chihuahua. So anyway, she's very like demure, That's why I always call her a virgin. But you got to see this. Sorry, I've never done this so much, shown photos.
No, but we're talking a lot about it.
And honestly,
I think it's going to make the podcast really fun.
The more time it takes you to find a picture, the less time Chad and I actually have to fill. And that's a pretty big guest episodes for us are a vacation.
Oh, good.
So this is very nice for mommy and daddy.
Who's mommy?
Well, both of us.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This is undoctored. That's Mo's dog, Martha.
Shut up.
The minute I saw the X-ray, I was like, Martha.
What the fuck?
What the
I know.
fuck?
It's unbelievable. My mom's going to be so mad at me.
Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, best mom. 3,000 people are about to see this on YouTube if we have a good week.
And what's really
that's my
crazy
mom's
is the
pelvis.
picture of the dog. That's her dad.
Yeah, her dad does play Mo's dog.
It's unbelievable.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Now, obviously, that's just a portion of the pelvis, so she won't be too upset.
Right. Well, just so we can get her good and upset, what portion of the pelvis is it? Let's narrow in on the specific portion of
I feel like it's like the looking up.
Yeah, it has to be.
I don't know.
It has to be the bull's horns.
Yeah.
But that is his mom is amazing too.
Yeah, you got to have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because like your mom, for example, is like, you're so amazing, but what made you think that partnering and having children with someone that is going to wear costumes all the time is a good idea? So now my mom got pregnant at 18.
Okay.
So they had me when they were 18. And it's like, okay, I get it, right? This guy was captain of the basketball team, 3-sport athlete, collegiate athlete, all that stuff. So I get that. You don't really know he's going to go, what does this cocaine smell like? And then be like, oh, fuck yeah, buddy! And then for the rest of his life. So you don't really know. You're like, oh, shit, if it fucking smells good going in your nose, how about the vein? That kind of stuff. So you can't really fault her for that. You cannot really fault them for knowing what they're going to do later.
True.
And that's and if he talked a lot.
Yeah. Well, the resume is short at that point. It's
Yes.
just
Right.
got, athlete on it and what is such a small sliver. High school feels so big, but it's just like it's 4 years.
What I would, these are the time machine moments that I'm interested in. I'm not, we've talked about this, the Hitler thing. Chad's currently banned from Facebook.
Oh, cool.
For
Congrats.
being.
I am on thin ice over there.
Well, is it because you're anti-Hitler? Because that's what happened with Chad. Anti-Hitler.
I
got him banned off of Facebook. If you're wondering,
I said there was someone asked me if I had a time machine, what would I do? Use it for something cool like go back and kill Hitler? And then I said, nope, here's what I would do. Bip, 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 bip. And I got banned for the phrase kill Hitler because all the people on Facebook are like, we fucking kind of like that guy.
Oh, my God.
And because that's what Facebook is built on,
Oh
is hatred and
Hitler.
and the whites.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing that I was on the phone with the people at Meta, and I go, hey, but do you know who killed Hitler? Fucking Hitler. So
Hitler is pro-kill Hitler.
yeah, like, can you lift my ban? Because I'm like weirdly on his side.
I don't want to be, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be fun? And so I don't know where in the timeline this happens, but I want did the costume thing happen while he was still a part of? Because I would like to
Are
be.
you ready to do this?
I'm fucking.
Ooh.
Because I would love to be in the chair in the side of the room, Scrooge and on Christmas Eve style, to watch him say to your mom, what would you think if I got a sign?
Well, there is an inciting incident.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Because there are always signs and red flags. My mom told me years after my dad had gone that he walked around a high school party shaking beer cans and going, I want to pop, 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 I want to Shasta, and then opening it in people's faces. And she was like, it was so endearing. And I'm like, well, that's how you get a 30-year-old fucking cokehead. So the signs were there, mother, and you still let him put it in you.
I feel like if he could have, he would have been quoting old school at the same time.
Yeah.
But that
You're
is,
my boy, Blue!
that is a time period, though, where bullying was endearing. Where it's like, what's up with this little fucking puss? Like, isn't that the coolest guy
That's
in
like
the
a
school?
turn on, unfortunately.
Bullying is no longer, bullying no longer gets anybody wet. The
It
times have
does
changed.
secretly, and those women end up being very unhappy.
Yeah, it does. This is a hard time for the women who get slippery from bullies.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
you know how some men always use the excuse like, well, just so you know, I mean, we were cavemen and it's still in there somewhere. I think that's also with women. They're like, oh, this guy runs the cave.
Yes, there is women are perpetrators of inflicting patriarchy as well. Like I find sometimes I just think like I'll listen to some women and I'll be
time.
like,
I
that's
actually
not
blame
helping.
them. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
right.
It's like what I call that's not helping comedy when a girl's on stage like, this Me Too stuff sucks. I love getting hit in bed. It's like, okay, that's actually not what it's about. Like you're not
Actually,
helping us.
though, it kind of is what it's about.
Big fan of that character. If we could get more of that character on the show.
I love wrestling.
Any chance you'll call in with that character?
But it's like in that same realm. Like there are women who are like, man up, bitch, stop crying.
Yeah.
I want my man to be able to cry in my arms, braid my hair, and then have sex with me still.
Yeah.
I like a vulnerable
Braid your hair
man.
and pull it just a little bit.
Just a light tug.
That's the place I like to
No,
live.
he's braiding it into his own handles. But I just feel
Spoiler alert. What am I supposed to say?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. I'm going to say a word you might not like.
okay.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
Spoiler alert.
Roll reversal. Roll reversal.
Old man emoji, waving
Chad's
emoji.
just like, spoiler alert. All these gay people are ruining my neighborhood.
Well, I am
think
gonna tell you
I think you
something.
mean trigger warning. I think you mean
But that
trigger
is a
warning.
spoiler alert too. The word I'm about to use
Okay.
is
It's a
associated
tough
with
word.
that. It's but I just
Hold
it's
on.
a quote.
Is this a word that will kick you off Facebook or allow you back on Facebook?
Probably get me back on within the afternoon. So there was a woman hitting on me after a show a while ago, and I was trying to leave, and she was like, no, come get a drink. I'm like, I'm not getting a drink. And then she was like, well, then just come back to my house. Let's skip the drink. I'm like, I'm also not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I'm walking, she followed me into the street. Fucking fag, won't even fucking come back. I'm giving you this. And it's like, what are you
Yeah, disgusting.
doing?
You were like,
That is
you were actually like,
disgusting
well, that
behavior.
works.
Yeah.
Here I come.
Yeah, whatever you
nailed
want
it.
to tell your whole fucking family because I don't want to talk to them either.
Yeah, that's disgusting behavior. It's the same. It reminds me of like first times of that happened to me would be as a kid when somebody's like, "Do you want to go to the dance with me?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm good." And they're like, "Well, you're fucking flat anyway." And you're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
moments ago you wanted
Yeah.
me to press my flat chest up against your flat chest," but I'm like. It is gross behavior to pull that on anybody, but particularly when women do it to men.
It is it's strange because you don't expect it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I thought we were past this.
I agree, but patriarchy is so powerful, and I think that is also like a word like feminism that like turns people off, and they're like, "Oh, here she goes." But like, it is so.
Can you do it in the stand-up character voice?
I'm sick of the patriarchy. I don't even remember her. I'm gonna have to watch that back. But whatever. I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but it's just like everybody has work to do on that. Men have to be thinking, feeling human beings that are allowed to express themselves. So you can be like happy in your bodies, expressing your emotions, and not only allowed to be angry and that's like hot to people or something. Like
Sure.
or violent, and that's how you express that you're a man.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
there's still so much work to do because it's like we all want you to be feeling and human and thinking and like loving. We want you to like love us, but then we also like demand so much of you, like cutting off of your feelings to like be a man and show up for the family.
Throw me over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Counterpoint, and I don't want to turn this into a whole social discussion, but counterpoint, if that starts happening, how am I going to watch a guy get in a fist fight with his son's best friend's dad at a Dick's Sporting Good in Mason, Ohio? How is that going to happen if we start evolving these rural men and city men into something softer? Like I think you and I use good therapy speak. I think we're a couple of soft babies. But when was the last time you got in a fucking fist fight? Say it. You know the exact day. How long?
A long time.
Yeah. So
Isaac was 7.
yeah, it's been a long time.
He's 24 now.
Yeah.
I think it's on. Those guys might be the last to evolve, if ever.
Yeah.
Last night we were
in the
looking for a
Dicks.
parking spot at the theater. It's true. And we were driving around, and I go, "Oh, there's one." And I jutted in, and I parallel parked one time. Didn't even have to move forward. No big deal. And thank you.
It can't. Was fucking
And
stop.
Ke- and-
it.
and
Do you
Kelsey-
remember the
That feels good.
conversation from the
And
last
Kelsey
episode?
said, "Everybody hang tight." And Kelsey said, "Oh, I love that you can just do that. It feels so manly." And then she goes, "But I also love that you're so good with your emotions." And I was like, "Car off, make out sesh."
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how you make it happen.
Yes. You can be so many things. I love that story.
Yeah, Jenna's often like, "What's with all these emotions? Could you?" You bring a heavy. I think
FaceTiming her parents. He's crying again. He's fucking crying all the time.
I think last night, even we saw each other. We haven't seen each other in 100 years.
I know.
But I saw you last night, and about 6 minutes in, you're like, "There's a lot of emotions coming out of you right now." There's so much. I think there is a limit where you can be like, "Hey, can you just fucking choke me for a while?" Like that's like I think there still does have to be a healthy limit on the emotions, because I can't always be like, "I want to talk about how I felt at lunch today." She's like, "How about we have our midday snack and we talk about that at dinner?"
She's like, "How about you box my ears so I don't have to listen to you talk anymore?"
The first time you and I got into an argument, this is back when you were the healthiest you've ever been. I remember I got mad at you, put you in a chokehold, and you started coming, and it freaked me out.
Yeah. That's how it works, baby. You want to know the secret to my trick? Spoiler alert. You want to know the trigger to my heart? It's through my throat.
Yeah, absolutely. The heart is connected to the trachea.
I'm someone who does it, but I will say I understand I understand people are into different things, like choking or violence or something.
No, let's not pull me apart in my things. We could go back to the inciting incident.
No,
Why don't we
I'm
head
not-
on back
dude,
to the
this isn't
inciting
about you.
incident?
This isn't about
It
you.
feels like it's gonna be a.
It's not. I
I feel like I'm
promise.
gonna catch a stray.
No, I'm just saying, like, I say this, like, it's when I go, I have respect for people who are religious, and then I just shit on it immediately, you know, and I don't want to be like
Familiar with that.
but it's sort of like with the violence, or the girls are like, "No, I like being choked," or like,
There it is. You've remembered it.
It's a pretty mean impression of me.
We'd still like you to watch it back, though, because 801.
Yeah. Pretty mean impression.
But I'm like, I think it's just hard for me to believe that isn't rooted in something painful or traumatic.
Sure.
So
yeah. Yeah, it for sure is.
Right, I know, and that kind of bothers me, because I'm just like, I want you to get help. I'm all about. I'm not boring in bed. I just like enjoyable. I don't know. Maybe this is just an opinion I have, and I'm judging other people who are into different types of things.
No, let's kink shame.
But-
Let's kink shame people.
So you and I are very different, because my dad, his go-to sometimes was to hold me against the wall by my throat.
I don't think we need to build
Just
this
wait.
whole conversation
No.
around the long-running concept that I like to be choked in bed.
That's not what I'm saying.
But it feels like that's the foundation for the house that's going up right now. And I feel like maybe we could step next door in the development and have the conversation over there based on a different foundation.
That's what I'm trying to do.
It doesn't feel like it. Keep going.
So when Kelsey and I started dating, she was like, "So do you like to be choked?" And I was like, "I don't know. Do you like to be headbutted? Because that's going to be my reaction to being choked." Just to let you know, let's keep the hands off the throat, because I haven't worked through that in therapy yet.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have to get into anything. That's just something that's on my mind lately.
We just talk about it on the show. We talk about it just enough that we don't dive deep enough, we just touch it enough that everybody's like, I'll just get a meme every once in a while that's just somebody like, it'll be some like from a famous sporting event, like some meme of somebody going like this.
Sure.
And they're like, sigh and bet. Like, we touch on it. You would think.
This is news to me, though. I didn't know that you.
But
were
I don't
That-
want to
but
know the
that's- but
reason.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't want to
Yeah.
know the
But this
reason
is
because
what
then
I'm-
it's going to lose the
but
funny.
This is what I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing.
We're not going to paint me. Jenna's family listens to this show. We're not going to paint me as someone who can only come when I'm being choked. Do I
You've
like
said it the most times.
Yeah. And also, let's also say this. You can only come when you're getting choked and there's a picture of her parents on the bedside stand. Look at me, please.
I like a little diversity, and if every once in a while a hand goes into the hair or around the throat, I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. Now, I don't want anyone to
Sure.
go, this is what it feels like before you die.
Yeah.
I'm not interested
Oh, you
in
don't like
that.
to get all the way.
Yeah.
Is it
The
like
room starts-
It could be a little power thing, like she's powerful,
That's okay.
or
see,
like a
'cause
little. I don't mind.
I
a
don't
little.
want to asphyx. The thing where people are like, I don't.
What
you-
if I'm talking cow prod poker thingies?
see because
You know what I mean? Like, zzz, and she's like, like tied up.
yeah, I don't like that.
I actually like that.
That's Chad's thing.
My dad never shocked me, so I'm like, give me some of that.
Because
Maybe it doesn't hurt that bad, and you're just like into the person who's got the power over you.
well, I think there's two different types of let's call it
Also
sexual
very
violence
Jesus.
to get this show finally canceled. I think there's playful sexual violence, like give me that fucking, just give me that hair just a little
Sure.
bit, and then there's like. Did you know that when you're about to black out, you come extra hard? I'm not interested in that.
Okay.
I don't want someone to find my
David
body.
Carradine knows that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think there's, to your point, there's people who are like,
You fucked a little too close.
yeah, they get a little. They're like, I like when it's scary and violent.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's,
interested.
it's like just
Yeah,
nibble
yeah.
my earlobe, fine. But did you shuck corn for a living when you were a child? Why are you fucking?
Yeah.
You're actually on my neck bone.
yeah, they're deep. Yeah. Inciting incident.
Oh.
Inciting.
My dad was a teacher. So my
Of?
mom didn't.
Of?
You guys should guess.
I would love to guess because the obvious answer here that you shouldn't take the bait is fucking physical education.
And that's what it was.
I was gonna go
It was
with
like bam, bam, into some kid's face.
my guess was lantern. Is that true?
It was gym teacher.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense with the
And-
short shorts.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he eventually just like, he was really, it really was him dealing with mental illness and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that's less funny. and
It
I'm
is less
glad-
funny.
I'm glad that I tried to wrap the show up with that. And if you guys liked all those pictures, just know that her dad needs help. And
Episode is brought to you by BetterHelp.com.
Don't worry. He self-medicates with vitamins and exercise.
how all the healthy folk do it.
And then glasses to make sure the government can't see into his thoughts.
I tried to get him to, when the restraining order was looming.
Hold on.
For-
It's so great to go, no, he's fine. Vitamins and exercise. But anyways, when the restraining order...
was threatened by the cop for telling another man to smile. I tried to reason with him. It doesn't work.
Your dad
That-
or the cop?
The cop was like, I got to get out of here. Also, my dad pulled over 2 doors down from his house. I'm like, just go to your house. That's where he was pulled over. Anyway, I just said, like, I don't react to that man at all. I said, there's nothing more powerful than the silent treatment. And I learned that from my mom.
Yeah.
And I think, and you probably too at some point, like there's nothing more powerful than acting like that man doesn't exist. Just do that. Like, obviously it's not healthy to do that to a partner or a loved one. It's manipulative. But if you do that to him, like what is better than that?
Right.
And he's like, I can't do that. I'm like,
And I don't want to start a whole nother podcast here, but what is his intention with trying to get that guy to smile? Is it like,
my dad thinks he's evil. Like
I love a guy who's got glasses coming down his head and
Yeah.
firm opinions about someone else being evil. I love that.
Well, and I'd like to say that you learned the silent treatment from your mom.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to show people they don't exist from my dad.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one more tidbit.
Let's do it.
This neighborhood guy who hates my dad, I guess they were crossing the street on one of my dad's 30 laps. And my dad stops and he says, and the guy is with his daughter, which, by the way, I'm not sure how old she is. I'm guessing in the 6 to 9 region. I don't know why you chose those numbers, but 7 to 10 region.
Let's go 7 to 10.
And he said something about, I always stop for women or ladies first or something. Now, then this guy shows up to my dad's house, is taking photos of his license plate and telling the neighborhood he's a pedophile. And I'm like, look.
And the whole neighborhood is like, the guy in costumes on the street corner? We fucking know.
With the candy cane van?
We're very aware. The red
Filled
carpet on the
with the
inside.
nerd ropes pouring out. I'm just like, Dad, I know that you're not. Like, he's not. But you can imagine why this man who hates you hears you refer to his child as a lady or a woman.
Sure.
There's no reason for you to be using that word. There's no reason for you to be talking to these people, let alone saying ladies first to a 9-year-old or whatever the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
Well,
So just stop.
I think he has made, he's progressed a little bit because he left out the fact that his sunglasses were X-ray vision.
That's true.